a film, Merrily We Live, from 1938, directed by Norman Z. MacLeod, starring Constance Bennett, Brian Aherne, Billy Burke, Benita Granville, Alan Mowbray, Anne Dvorak, and a whole bunch of other people. So, um, I've always seen it as sort of a cousin to My Man Godfrey. There's a lot of similarities. But it's also based on a 1930 film and a book from the 20s and a play from the 20s that aren't written by the same person. So put all that together, throw it in a blender, and you've got Merrily We Live. The basics here are Brian Aherne is a writer, and he's out somewhere away from his stomping grounds, and his car breaks down, and he has to walk to somewhere, and he ends up at the residence of a very crazy family. And who's the father? Was his first name Clarence? Clarence Kolb, the actor? So he's the father. Billy Burke is the mother. And Constance Bennett and Benita Granville are their daughters. And there's a guy, Tom something I can't think of, plays their son. Meanwhile, their exasperated, wacky butler is Alan Mowbray. Um, and a person comes in later in the film is Anne Dvorak. Interesting thing, as I was reading about it, I didn't know this until today, and I've watched this film for a long, long time, is that some of the dialogue was actually written by Ed Sullivan, and it was his first time doing that, writing dialogue for a film. So there you go. So where was I? So it's a wacky family. Everyone's ditzy. I forgot to mention that it was produced by Hal Roach, who most of you know for doing Laurel and Hardy or The Little Rascals or other comedy shorts. We don't always remember that he also did all the Topper movies. And that's significant in that Constance Bennett and Billy Burke and Alan Mowbray were all in Topper. So there's that. And there's lots of fun things. So he ends up, Brian Aherne kind of takes on the mantle of being a chauffeur and doing this and that, much to the consternation of Alan Mowbray, who doesn't trust him because they have had other people working for them that rob them blind. So, and wackiness ensues, and there's a bird in there. And by the way, there's my favorite names for dogs ever in a film. Maybe dogs ever. One of them is called Get Off the Rug, and the other is called You Too. I just think that's great. They're two, what are they? They're like Great Danes, I believe. Some big ass dogs. And all sorts of wackiness ensues, and we see that a romance is going to happen between Brian Aherne and Constance Bennett, kind of against the will of both of them, which makes it even more charming as it occurs. And Benita Granville, as always, is 8 million tons of fun. It's just a fun, it's a breezy romp. There you go. That's what it is. It's what you need nowadays, especially. It's something that'll make you laugh, make you smile, does your heart some good. It's a lot of fun. The first time I came into it almost with a trepidation of, well, I'd heard it was sort of like a sideways My Man Godfrey, and I have such love for Godfrey that the original only, not the horrible David Niven, June Allison one. Forget that one. Take that one, move it over here, never visit it again. Thank you. So I didn't know, and I ended up like watching it on its own right, and it's just funny. It's funny and it's good. Everyone in it is good. I mean, look at that cast. That's a great cast. And the writing is sharp, and it's not afraid to be goofy and crazy because it is a screwball comedy after all. I also didn't know that it was up for like a whole buttload of Academy Awards. I don't think it won any, but it got like five, six, seven nominations. Pretty cool. In fact, it was the only film that Billy Burke was ever nominated for. How about that? So, if you need some lightheartedness in your life, and who doesn't? And a good distraction and just some fun that is not afraid to be stupid. Like Weird Al used to say, dare to be stupid. This one dares, and it succeeds. It has a heart underneath it and a charm, and you will just enjoy it. Let it transport you away. You can find it all over the place. It's not a difficult film to find. But that's what we got for you today. We got Merrily We Live from 1938, and I always have to look up his name, the director. Say it along with me, Norman Z. MacLeod, and starring Brian Aherne and Constance Bennett and a whole bunch of other people, and other great people I didn't even mention here. Lots of fun little parts. So give yourself a laugh, give yourself a smile. I'll see you next time. That's all I got to say about this one. I love you. Goodbye. Oh, cut, print it, whatever. Apply your own movie terms. Bye bye.